Hello everyone. As we have come to the end of Unit 11, I'm going to be doing two more videos. The first one that we'll be doing today is to strengthen our understanding of ratio and proportion. Okay, so it's like a recap of what we've done so far and just strengthening the knowledge that we should have. Okay, so please could you pause the video and have a go at the question that's on the screen for your remember task and play when you're ready to go through the solution. Okay, so I've put the answers on the PowerPoint side of the screen now for you, but I'm going to quickly go through the solution. That was a pretty straightforward question, so hopefully, without really thinking about it, you were able to get the answer. Okay, so for 1A, the question tells us that a bus ticket costs £3, so one bus ticket costs £3, work out the cost of two bus tickets, so it's going to be 2 multiplied by your £3, which is £6, nice and straightforward. And part B, what's the price of 5 tickets? Well, we need 5 lots of the £3, and that's going to be £15, okay? So you shouldn't have had any problems there. Let's move on. Okay, so as this is just a recap of everything that we've done so far, there's not really much modelling of the questions that I'm going to be doing for you. It's going to be more question practice and then a chance for you to watch me go through the solutions. Okay, and you to check your answers. So please pause your video once again, have a go at the two questions that are on the screen, have a look at the hint that's been given to you for question 2A, and then play when you are ready to go through the solutions. Okay, so the answers are up on the screen now. You can check them, and then I'm going to talk you through the solutions through the visualizer. So question 2 says, it costs £32 for 4 teenagers to go to the cinema. How much does it cost for A, 8 teenagers, B, 2 teenagers, and C, 10 teenagers? Okay, for part A, you've been given a hint. Okay, it's showing you 4 squares. So 4 squares is worth the 4 people that we've been given. So I'm going to draw that roughly here. We have 4 tickets, and that cost the whole thing £32. Okay. As we in part A have been asked for how much is it going to cost for 8 teenagers, all we need to do is double the cost for 4 because we know that 8 is double 4. So if we double the cost for the 4 tickets, we will have the cost for the 8 tickets. So it's 2 lots of £32, which is £64. Okay? So it will cost £64. So this is question 2A, sorry. £64 is your answer to part A. Part B, it wants to know what's the cost for 2 teenagers. So I'm going to return back to what we know originally from the question, and we know 4 tickets cost £32. Okay, and we know actually that 2 is half of 4. So to find out the cost for 2 tickets, all we need to do is half the £32. So £32 divided by 2. And that will give us the cost for 2 tickets, okay, because we've halved it. That will give us £16. So the cost for 2 tickets is £16. Okay, so notice so far I've just been looking for the relationships between what I knew, so the cost for 4 teenagers, and what I was looking for. Part C is slightly different. You can do it in 2 ways now. So we're looking for 10 teenagers, the cost for 10 teenagers. And the first way you can do it is with what we know so far. So we know the cost for 8. So let me just put in my 8. So we know from what we worked out for part A that the cost for 8 teenagers is £64. we also know the cost for 2, which therefore is going to give us the cost for 10, isn't it? So the cost for 2 is £16. So the cost for 8 plus the cost for 2 is going to give us the cost for 10, and that is £80. Okay? So that's great if you spotted that relationship, and that's only good if you have previously worked out the parts that made up the 10. If you hadn't, or if you treated it as a totally separate question, what we needed to do is work out the cost for one person, okay, one teenager. So that's the first way we could have answered it. The second way I'll do on the right here. So the cost for 4, we know from the question, is £32. So 4 tickets cost £32. So half for 2 would have been £16. So one ticket costs £8. Each of those tickets cost £8 each. Therefore, if we want to know the cost for 10 teenagers, we just need to do the cost for one ticket multiplied by 10 people, and that would also give us £80. Okay? Question 3 says, Harry can wash 6 cars in 1 hour. Okay? So 6 cars in 1 hour. That's very quick, I think. How many cars can he wash in 3.5 hours? So 1 hour, he does 6 cars. How many can he do in 3.5 hours? Well, 1 hour is 6 cars, so that means 3 hours is going to be 3 lots of 6 cars, isn't it? That gives me 18 cars, so that's in 3 hours. And in half an hour, he's going to be able to do half the amount of cars, because that's in 1 hour. He does 6, so in half an hour, he's going to do 3 cars. Okay? So 3 hours is 18, half an hour is 3, so 3.5 hours is going to be 18 cars plus 3 cars, which is 21 cars. Okay, hopefully you're okay with that and managed to work that one out as well. So that was quite straightforward once you realised how you were getting there. Okay, well done. Carry on. You have your next question there. You've been given a strategy hint once again. So please pause the video and play when you're ready to go through the solution. Okay, so I've put the answer there on the screen for you. Your answer was 300 grams. Let's go through the solution and you can check your answer properly. So it says, which is better value for money? We either have 200 grams of lotion for £2.50 or 300 grams of lotion for £3.60. And the hint that you were given was work out how much you pay for each 100 grams. Okay, because if you know what you pay for each 100 grams, then you've got a comparable amount. So this is question 4, they have shown you this with the bar modelling. So for the first part, we've got 200 grams, so 2 lots of 100. So 200 grams, and that costs £2.50. Okay, so £2.50 is for 200 grams. Therefore, 100 grams, remember those 3 dots mean therefore 100 grams is going to cost £2.50 divided by 2, which is £1.25. Okay, so it's £1.25 per 100 grams for your first option. Okay, for the next one, we've got 300 grams are going to cost us £3.60. So we've got 3 lots of 100 gram then. And they together cost us £3.60. Therefore, 100 grams using that option is going to cost us £3.60 divided by 3, okay, because it's been split into 3 parts of 100 grams. So divided by 3. £3.60 divided by 3 is £1.20 per 100 grams. Okay? And therefore, 300 grams is better value. Well done if you got that. Okay, next question. There's your hints there as well, so please pause the video, have a go at the next two questions on ratio and proportion, and play when you're ready to go through the solutions. Okay, you've got lots of hints there, so please use them to help you. Okay, so for the first question, question 1 there, it says, Andy makes a bracelet with green beads and yellow beads. She uses 1 green bead for every 2 yellow beads. The bracelet has 12 beads altogether. How many beads are A, green, and B, yellow? Okay, so they've given you a hint, and the hint starts by saying, well, for every 1 green bead she uses 2 yellow beads. Okay, so if you imagine the bracelet, so far we have 3 beads to it, 1's green, 2 are yellow. Okay, and it says the bracelet altogether has 12 beads. Okay, so we need to see how many lots of this set of 3 beads, 1 green, 2 yellow, are going to go in and make up our 12 beads. So this is my first set. We've got green, yellow, yellow. Okay, the second set, that gives me 6 beads altogether, green, yellow, yellow. The third set is going to give me 9 beads altogether, green, yellow, yellow. And the fourth set is going to give me my 12 beads that she has in her bracelet, green, yellow, and yellow. So it says how many of the beads are green. So green, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 green beads. And of the yellow, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 yellow beads. And you can do a quick final check and say, is 4 plus 8 12? Yes, it is. Okay. So we've answered part A and part B there. The next question has asked you to write each of the ratios in its simplest form. Okay, you've been given hints. So they've found the highest common factor there for you for part A. They've told you to divide both sides by 2 to get to your solution. So let's start. So 2A, our ratio is 2 to 6. And as they've told us, my highest common factor is 2. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. They're both even, so I can. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my answer for part A is 1 to 3. For part B, the ratio I've been given is 6 to 9. So I need to think, what is my highest common factor of 6 and 9? Or if you can't quite get to the highest common factor, what factors can I think of 6 and 9? Okay, and I know they're both divisible by 3. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay, and that's the furthest you can go because there's no other common factors there but with 2 and 3. Part C, we've been given 10 to 15. We needed to divide both sides by 5. They're both divisible by 5 because they end in 0 and 5. So I divide by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And your answer there is in its simplest form. Okay, the next one, part D, we've been given three ratios. So 24 to 36 to 60. Okay, straight away I can spot a factor that I know they're all divisible by, and that's 12. Okay, they're all divisible by 12. But if you weren't able to spot that, that's okay. You could have started with 2. So I'll first do it by starting with 12, and then I'll show you the example again to show you if you did it with 2 instead. Okay, so I'm going to divide by 12. 24 divided by 12 is 2. 36 divided by 12 is 3. And 60 divided by 12 is 5. And there's my ratio in its simplest form. If you didn't do that and you use 2 instead, I'll show you how we'll do that now. Okay? You may have also used 6. You can check your answer for that one, okay? So 24 divided by 2 is 12. 12 divided by 2 here. Uh, 36 divided by 2 is 18. 60 divided by 2 is 30. Okay, they're all still even. They're all not yet simplified fully. So we still need to divide by 2. Divide by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 30 divided by 2 is 15. Okay, and here, they're not even anymore, but they've still got a factor of 3. So we're going to divide by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay, and then you got back to the same answer. But it's easier if you can spot the highest common factor first. Okay, 2e. Hopefully you remembered how we dealt with these ones where there's a decimal. So we've got 2.5 to 6 as our ratio. We were given a hint and it says choose a number to multiply by to give a whole number first. Okay, so remember we got rid of our decimals by either multiplying by 10. So we just multiplied both sides by 10. So we got rid of the decimal, we moved it one place to the right. Or you found a number that you could multiply it by to make a whole number. For example, I know I can multiply 2.5 by 2 to make 5. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 2. 2.5 multiplied by 2 is 5. 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. Okay, and there are no factors of 5 and 12 that are going to make that any simpler. Okay, so my simplified answer there is 5 to 12. For F, we've got 2.4 to 1.6. Now, with these, I can't multiply them by 2 because if I multiply them by 2, I'm still going to have a decimal number. So I'm going to multiply them both by 10 because I know that's going to get rid of my decimal because it moves it one place to the right on both. Okay? If I multiply by 10, I will have 24 to 16. I then need to simplify here. So you need to find your highest common factor of 24 and 16. They're both even, so we can divide by 2. So if I divide both sides by 2, I'm going to be left with 12 on this side, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. Okay, so that wasn't my highest common factor. There was another one. I wonder if you know what it is. And then 12 divided by 2, once again, because they're both still even, is 6. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. Still not there. Still haven't got there, have I? So I'm going to divide by 2 again because they're both even. That gives me 3 to 2. And that is my final answer there. Okay, so what I should have divided by up here was 8. Okay, that would be the other way you could have done it. So either way, doesn't matter as long as you got down to the simplified answer of 3 to 2 in the end. Well done if you got those. Okay, so your next set of questions are there on the screen. Please pause the video and play when you're ready to go through the solution. Okay, so we were doing our conversions. They've given you a hint. I'm going to move on to the answer slide so you can check your answers, and then I'll go through the solutions with you as well on the side of the screen. Okay, so question 3A. They want 3.8 meters. What that is, how many centimeters that is. Okay. So remember, the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to write my own ratio, meters to centimeters. I know that 1 meter is 100 centimeters. I have 3.8 meters. How do I get from 1 to 3.8, I multiply by 3.8. Therefore, to get the centimetre conversion, I'm going to multiply my 100 by 3.8, and that will tell me what 3.8 metres is in centimetres. Okay, and 3.8 multiplied by 100 is 380. You should have 380 centimetres as your answer there. For part B, we've got 2.5 litres, and they want to know what that is equivalent to, how many millimetres, that is equivalent to. The same method, I'm going to write myself a ratio of litres to millilitres, and I know that 1 litre is 1,000 millilitres. I have, in my question, 2.5 millilitres. How do I get from 1 to 2.5? Well, I multiply by 2.5. Therefore, I have to do the same with my milliliter conversion. So 1,000 multiplied by 2.5 gives me 2,500. So my answer is 2,500 millilitres. Part C. We have been given £600, and what is that equivalent to in euros? Okay, and they've given us a conversion rate of £1 is equal to 1.23 euros. So that's our ratio. So we're looking for 600 and what that is equal to in euros. The ratio that they've given us, the conversion, is that £1 is 1.23 euros. Okay? We want to know what £600 is in euros. So to get from £1 to £600, I multiply by 600. Therefore, to get from my 1.23 euros to what my £600 would be, I'm going to multiply by 600 again. Okay, and 600 multiplied by 1.23 is 738 euros. Okay, so that's 738. Part C. We have 24 pints, and they want to know how many gallons is that equal to? Is equal to how many gallons? And they've given us our conversion again. They've told us that 1 gallon is equal to 8 pints. So we put in what we've been given. We've been given 24 pints. We want to know how many gallons that is. So I'm going to say to myself, well, how do I get from 8 pints to 24 pints? 8 times what makes 24? Well, it's 8 times 3 is 24. Therefore, I need to multiply my 1 gallon by 3 to work out how many gallons are equivalent to 24 pints. Okay, and that will be 3 gallons. And there's your answer. Okay, well done if you did those. Once you get your head around the method, you should be able to do those with no problem, okay? So question 4. Jim mixes red paint and blue paint in the ratio 1 to 5. So you've got a ratio of 1 to 5, and that's red to blue. Okay, remember the ratio comes in the way that the question says it. He uses 3 tins of red paint. How much blue paint should he use? Well, he uses 3 tins of red. So it's the same method. How do I get from 1 to 3? Well, I multiply by 3. Therefore, I'm going to multiply 5 by 3 to find out how many blue. And 5 times 3 is 15. So he uses 15 tins. Okay? And that's your final answer there. Your next set of questions are on the screen for you. Please pause the video and play when you're ready to go through the solution. Okay, so I'm going to put up the answers on the screen and then I'll go through the solutions with you here. So question 5 says, Jenny makes a scale model of a train carriage using the ratio 1 to 20. Okay, 1 to 20. So 1 is for her model, 20 is in real life, okay? Her model is 24 centimetres long. How long is the real carriage in centimetres, okay? So it's 24 long, that's her model. Remember, this part belongs to her model, that's real life. So how do we get from 1 to 24? We multiply by 24. Therefore, I need to multiply 20 by 24, and that gives me 480. So for part A, the answer is 480 centimetres. Okay, so I gave you it in centimetres. It said it was 24 centimetres long. For part B, it wants to know what is the real length in metres. Okay, so remember, metres to centimetres, 1 to 100. We have 480 centimetres in our model. How do we get from 100 to 480? We multiply by 4.8, and therefore we do the same for the metres. 1 multiplied by 4.8 is 4.8. So the answer is 4.8 metres. Okay? Question 6. The ratio of butter to sugar in a recipe is 2 to 1. So we've got 2 to 1, and that's butter to sugar. Ian uses 6 ounces of butter. How many ounces of sugar should he use? He uses 6 ounces of butter. This part belongs to butter, so this number is 6. How many ounces of sugar should he use? Well, how does he get from 2 to 6? 2 to 6, I multiply by 3. Therefore, I need to multiply my sugar by 3. And it tells me he needs 1 times 3 is 3, so he needs 3 ounces of sugar. Okay, next question. Questions are on the screen for you. Please pause the video and play when you're ready to go through the solutions. Okay. So, question 7 says, Isabel and Freya share £20 in the ratio 2 to 3. Okay, so we've got Isabel to Freya, that's an I, Isabel to Freya in the ratio 2 to 3. Okay, and they're sharing £20. How much do they each receive? Well, altogether we have 5 parts in this ratio, because if we add 2 and 3 together, we have 5 parts. I'm just going to do a little bar model to represent the information it's telling me. So we have 5 parts there. 2 belong to Isabel, and 3 belong to Freya. Okay, and it's worth £20 for the whole thing. So how much do they each get? First step, add the ratio together. 2 plus 3 is 5. We did that because that gives us our first part. Step 2, divide the amount, which is £20, by the number of parts, which is 5. So 20 divided by 5. 20 divided by 5 is £4. So that's the value of 1 part. Okay, 20 divided by 5 is £4. Now we know the value of 1 part, we need to share this ratio for each of the girls. So Isabel first. Isabel has 2 parts, so she's got 2 lots of £4, which is £8. And Freya has 3 lots of £4, which is £12. Okay, so that's your answer But remember, the final step that we include is to check. So is £8 plus £12 £20? Yes, it is. Okay, so I have my answer correct. And that is the answer for part B. It says show how you check your answer. Well, I'm adding the two amounts that I say that they've got together. Okay, and it said that in the hint there for you. Question 8. So a piece of cloth is cut into 3 pieces in the ratio 1 to 2 to 5. So 1 to 2 to 5. And in your hint, they've given you that as a model. So they've got 1 part, it's going to be hard for me to show because I don't have any colours, to 2 parts, to 5 parts. Okay, so that's the total number of parts. It's not very good there, the way I've represented it, but please look at the way on the screen. The 240 centimetres is the whole thing. And there's 8 parts. 8 parts in total. Okay, the piece of cloth is 240 centimetres long, which is represented there. How long is each piece? So A, how long is each piece? Well, I know I can work out how long each piece is by doing the total amount, 240 centimetres, divided by the number of parts there are, which is 8. So I'm doing 240 divided by 8. I know that 24 divided by 8 is 3. That means 240 divided by 8 is going to be 30 centimetres. So each part of that cloth is worth 30 centimetres. Show how you have checked your answer. Well, you want to check your answer by doing 8 multiplied by 30 centimetres and seeing if it makes 240 centimetres, which it does, okay? We're just checking it in that way. Sorry, I've missed a step there, I realised in my explanation. So that was 1 part. We had to work out each piece. So that was 1 in the ratio, which was 30. The 2 in the ratio is 2 lots of that, which is going to be 60. And then we have 5 lots of 30, which is going to be 150. So ignore my check there. The way that we're going to check that is by doing 30 plus 60 plus 150 and seeing if that comes back to our 240. Okay, 3 plus 6 is 9, plus 5 is 14, carry the 1, 1 add 1 is 240 centimetres. And that's correct, okay? I didn't read the whole of that question. So you had to know the length of each part, and they're all in centimetres. Okay? So well done if you got that. And the answers are there. Okay, so pause the video please. Your next set of questions are on the screen. Play when you're ready to go through the solutions. Okay, so a shop sells jam donuts and toffee donuts. The ratio of jam donuts to toffee donuts sold is 2 to 3. So we've got, this is question 9, we've got jam to toffee, and it's 2 to 3. So that's what my question's told me so far. The shop sold 18 jam donuts. How many toffee donuts were sold? You've been given a hint. You have 2 parts of your ratio that belong to your jam, and you've got 3 parts that belong to toffee, and we know that 2 parts were worth 18 sales. Okay, 18 donuts were sold. So how many toffee were sold? Well, I'm going to do 18 divided by those 2 parts. That gives me 9. So I know each part is worth 9. Okay, each part is worth 9. So I know 3 lots of 9 is 27, and they therefore sold 27 toffee. If you wanted to use it this way, you put out your ratio. We know that 18 have been sold. So I say, how do I get from 2 to 18? I multiply by 9. So I would multiply by 9 with a 3 to get my 27 for the toffee donut sold. Either way is fine. Okay, part B. How many donuts are sold altogether? Well, I need to add my 18 and 27, don't I, together? There. I'm going to add those together. 8 add 7 is going to be 15. So I'm going to do 5, carry 1. 1 add 2 is 3, add 1 is 4. So it's 45 sold altogether. Or you could have said there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots of 9 sold. So you could have also done 5 times 9, which gave you 45 donuts. Okay? The next question, question 10, says the ratio of quad bikes to go-karts at an activity centre is 3 to 7. So we've got quad bikes to go-karts, and that's 3 to 7. Okay? What fraction of the vehicles are go-karts? So remember, when we're doing fractions, the numerator, your top number, is going to be the part of the ratio that belongs to the thing that you're putting into the fraction. So it says, what fraction of the vehicles are go-karts? So for go-karts, there's 7 parts that are go-karts. So 7 is my numerator, my top number in my fraction. My denominator is my ratio added together. Okay, so 3 plus 7 is 10. That's the total number of parts. That means 7 out of 10 are go-karts. Okay, so that's your fraction for part A. Part B says, what fraction of the vehicle are quad bikes? Okay, it's done in the same way. 3 belongs to quad bikes, so 3 is my numerator, my top number, and the total number of parts is 10, as we already worked out. So 3 out of 10 of the bikes at the activity centre are quad bikes. Okay? And that's your answer there. Well done if you got that one and remembered. Okay, and then the answer's on the screen. Next one, question 12, you can use a calculator, so please use the calculator, but don't use it for question 11 because you wouldn't get a calculator for that type of question in the exam. So pause the video and play when you're ready to go through the solution. Okay, so question 11 says 3/4 of the bikes at a cycle shop are road bikes, the rest are mountain bikes. Okay, so we're going to be looking for a ratio. That's what it says in part A. What is the ratio of road bikes to mountain bikes? So we're doing road to mountain. Okay, we know 3/4 of the bikes, 3 out of 4 of the bikes are road bikes, and therefore the rest are mountain bikes, so that would be 1 out of 4 because you have one more part to make the 4. Okay, now we've got them over the same denominator, you can remove the denominators, or you're multiplying them essentially by 4, and that gives you the ratio of 3 to 1, and that's your answer. The ratio is 3 to 1, road bikes to mountain bikes. Part B says there are 27 road bikes. How many mountain bikes are there? So I'm going to put in my ratio again. Road to mountain. I know it's 3 to 1. They've told me I have 27 road bikes. So therefore, how many mountain bikes do I have? Well, how do I get from 3 to 27? I multiply by 9. The 3 multiplied by 9 gives me 27. Therefore, I'm going to do the same with my mountain bikes. And that means 1 multiplied by 9 gives me 9. Therefore, there are 9 mountain bikes. Okay? Part C rather. How many bikes are there in the cycle shop altogether? Well, we know there's 27 and 9. Okay, so 27 plus 9 equals 36. The other way you could do that, you know one part is worth 9, so you could have done 4 multiplied by 9, or 4 multiplied by 9, which is 36 bikes. Okay? Next one, question 12. So you could use a calculator to work it out for you. Okay? So work out each of these units each of these is a unit ratio. Give your answer to a maximum of 2 decimal places. Remember, when we're looking for a unit ratio, we want one of the numbers to be 1. Usually, unless it specifies, which it hasn't in this example, you're going to pick the smallest number in your ratio to make 1. So the first ratio I've been given is 4 to 26. Okay, so 4 to 26, I want to make one of them 1, so I'm going to pick the smaller number, which is 4. That's going to be made 1. To get from 4 to 1, I divide by 4, therefore I have to do the same with the 26. 26 divided by 4 is 6.5, so that's your answer there. For the next one, part B, we have been given the ratio of 25 to 2. We're looking for a unit ratio, so one of the parts of the ratio will have to be 1 in my answer. I'm going to pick my smaller number as they haven't specified. So that part is going to end as 1. How do I get from 2 to 1? I divide by 2, therefore I have to divide my other ratio by 2. 25 divided by 2 is 12.5. Done. Part C. We've got 13 to 5. One of the parts has to be 1. It's going to be my smaller number that I'm going to pick because it hasn't specified. How do I get from 5 to 1? I divide by 5. Therefore, I need to divide my 13 by 5 to get an equivalent ratio. 13 divided by 5 is 2.6. That's your final answer. The last one, for D, 7 to 22. One part of my ratio has to be 1. I'm going to pick my smaller number, that's 7, so that is going to be 1. How do I get from 7 to 1? I divide by 7. Therefore, I need to divide my 22 by 7. 22 divided by 7 is, what's come up on my calculator at the moment, is 3.14285714. Okay, remember it said give your answer to a maximum of 2 decimal places, so my answer is 3.14. Okay, and that is your final answer there, so well done if you got those. And they're there as well for you to just quickly check if you didn't finish marking. Okay, next question. Please pause the video and play when you are ready to go through the solution. Okay, so the question says, Amar makes lemon squash using 20 ml of squash and 180 ml of water. Ben makes lemon squash using 50 ml of squash and 500 ml of water. Who has made the stronger squash? Explain your answer. Okay, and your hint says write them both as unit ratios. So we're going to start. First I'm going to start with Amar. So he makes lemon squash using a ratio of squash to water of 20 to 180 millilitres. So 20 to 180. Then I'm going to do the ratio for Ben. Ben makes squash using squash to water in a ratio of 50 millilitres to 500 millilitres of water. Okay? So, as the question says, in order to work out who's made the stronger squash, we need to get a unit ratio. Okay? So, I am going to make my squash part the part that's going to be 1. Okay? So, unit ratio is always going to have a part of the ratio that's 1. How do I get from 20 to 1? Well, I divide by 20. Therefore, I need to do the same with my 180 and divide that by 20 to get an equivalent fraction. That gives me 9. Okay? So he uses a ratio of 1 milliliter of squash to 9 milliliters of water. What does Ben do? Well, we're going to pick the same one to be 1, so it's comparable. So this is going to be 1. We're going to divide by 50. So I need to divide the other side by 50. So 500 divided by 50 gives me 10. My ratio there is 1 to 10. So there's not much in it. But this bit is the bit that you need to be careful with and make sure you conclude properly. It says, who has made the stronger squash? And you must explain your answer. The answer is Amar. Amar has made the stronger squash. And the reason is because he uses less water to every milliliter of squash he uses. Okay, so as he uses less water in every milliliter of squash that he uses. Okay, and that's your final answer there. Okay, and there's your answer. They've put their ratio in their answer. That's on the screen there as well. Okay, and that is the end of the strengthen part of the lesson. The next lesson will be the extend part. Okay, we'll be looking at more problem-solving questions for you to have a go at. Okay, so well done. Thank you very much.